listening to Ring Chronicles with Lance Vaughn and Glenn Ritchie.
Welcome back to Ring Chronicles as we are a week away from the Royal Rumble. What's going on?
What's up? Should we start with errors and omissions?
Yeah, you got some?
Somebody made a comment on our top 10 with Samoa Joe. For some reason, I did not include his entire TNA run.
His entire TNA run.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually where I was exposed to the guy.
Yeah.
Was TNA.
Yeah.
So how did I forget that? I mean,
I guess he has a point.
Yeah. So, I forgot to include that Samoa Joe. This was not in the podcast. This was in our top 10 fat and or plus-sized individuals who wrestle of larger persuasion.
Correct. I mean, he's got a point, but at the same time, I mean, there was no way we were going to cover everything about every wrestler we mentioned.
Yeah.
So I'm sure lots of stuff was left out. About
Yeah.
Lots of them. But
I mean, we glossed over everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that was one comment on that video. There was another one where a guy wrote a book. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see that comment. Okay,
so we got this guy is Matthew Singleton.
Is this Lariat of Hate? Do we need to hit the Lariat of Hate button first?
Oh, that's right. Because I was going to include that in Lariat of Hate, and so I thought we were okay. Yeah, let's do Lariat of Hate.
This is the Lariat of Hate.
All right, so now we're officially in the Lariat of Hate. So yeah, the guy mentioned about Samoa Joe's TNA accolades, and then there was another one. This guy's Matthew Singleton. This is on YouTube. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
The rubric here was terrible. Rubric. Look at the big brain on Matthew Singleton. Got a smart guy here. Rubric. The rubric here was terrible. I would not allow under 300-pound chubbies on this list. Because that is subjective. Big Boss Man should have made the list. And I'm fixing these sentences because it looks like the guys can't use proper grammar. Big Boss Man should have been on the list. Earthquake John Tenta. King Kong Bundy should have made the list. Also, Gorilla Monsoon, Haystacks Calhoun, and Abdullah the Butcher should have been considered. Rikishi didn't seem to fit in. If you allow the light chubbies, you should have added Kevin Owens. Nia was bigger than Awesome Kong. Bull Nakano was the best.
I will admit I did not consider Bull Nakano.
Okay.
I mean, that is a fair argument if that was something I debated. What exactly is fat?
Right.
In the terms of wrestling.
Right.
Okay. So, in the real world, if Samoa Joe walked into your house, you wouldn't look at him as a light chubby.
Right.
It's a massive individual.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was he the size of John Tenta? No. Was he the size of King Kong Bundy? No. Do I think that Samoa Joe is a better wrestler than John Tenta and King Kong Bundy? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Do I think that Samoa Joe has accomplished more as a big guy than King Kong Bundy and John Tenta? Yes. King Kong Bundy did get the main event WrestleMania, but I mean, he didn't do much more. Gorilla Monsoon, I struggled with whether or not to include him on the list or not.
Okay.
That is a good point. It's honestly, it just shows you how, I think it's a fair complaint. The fact that we did not include all of those wrestlers just shows how competitive if you're trying to list the top 10 fat wrestlers
right
in wrestling, how competitive the field is. Should we have listed Kevin Owens? That's a fair complaint too. My rubric was I guess flawed. Rubric was flawed in some ways.
Well, I'll kind of defend you here. Okay, so being fat wasn't the only qualification here.
Yeah,
this was good fat wrestlers.
Yes,
fat wrestlers with accolades.
Yeah, and
it wasn't also just weight, but like
technical ability.
Yeah, technical ability. Like when I read this guy's comment, he's writing that this like weight was the only consideration, and it wasn't. It clearly wasn't.
No,
you know. So I mean, we had Yokozuna at 4. You know, so I mean, obviously weight wasn't the only consideration.
Right.
I don't mean to speak for you, but I think it was more of what would socially be considered fat. And you take those wrestlers and you say, okay, who were the best wrestlers out of those guys?
Yeah. That was what I was trying to do.
Like this guy's trying to say you don't put in anybody under 300 pounds. No, that's no. no, I don't agree with that at all. No.
If we were going by just weight, there was some wrestlers. He mentioned Haystacks Calhoun.
Yeah.
There were other wrestlers that were even more massive.
Uh-huh.
I mean, gosh, I mean, who was that wrestler that Harley Race had to like bathe with like a brush or a giant brush or something? I can't remember who it was, but yeah, there were other really massive wrestlers in wrestling history that were make Yokozuna look like a cruiserweight.
Right.
So yeah, we couldn't just. But you know, I guess you know he thought that maybe it needed to be bigger guys, 300 plus.
Yeah.
Pound.
It had more to do with appearance. Okay, for example, we added. So we had Samoa Joe, we had Mick Foley, Dusty Rhodes. All those guys were under 300 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know who's close to that weight and is under 300 pounds? Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's about appearance. So it's clearly not about weight.
Yeah.
It's not about the number on the scale. So yeah, I mean, I thought it would be obvious, especially the way you know what you said about each wrestler. How you talked about how Mick Foley and the way he used ring psychology, and he had great matches. So I mean, it was just obvious. Weight wasn't the only consideration. So I'm not sure how you can watch that entire video. And this was from the entire video. This wasn't from one of the clips, one of the shorts. So
yeah, I mean, obviously. If I think of greatest wrestlers, Bam Bam Bigelow was much greater than I appreciate what John Tena did for the business. I appreciate what King Kong Bundy did for the business. I did consider both of those for the top 10. So it's not like they're not good, but we were thinking of the top 10.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but you know, a guy that's the size of King Kong Bundy, almost that. I mean, he wasn't quite Bundy's size, but 300. I forgot what Bigelow's weight was, 360, something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the dude could do moonsaults. The dude could do drop kicks. He could. I mean, he could do extreme wrestling. He can do. He went toe to toe with Bret Hart. So he could do the technical stuff. I mean, he could do whatever was needed in the ring.
Yeah.
And, a guy that can mimic his opponent and put on a good match, and as far as, adjust his style, maybe not mimic his opponent, but adjust his style to his opponent, to me is a lot better than a guy like King Kong Bundy or John Tenta, which pretty much did the same thing every match. Now, I will say this, though, from my understanding, John Tenta had a reputation for safety that I think has to be acknowledged.
Okay.
So that does show that he had some skill.
Right.
To my knowledge, he never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for a guy his size to not have hurt somebody.
Well, speaking of hurting people, this guy suggested Nia over Awesome Kong, and you've complained on this show about Nia Jax's wrestling ability and safety.
Yeah. Nia Jax.
Sorry. Nia.
Nia Jax is terrible. I mean, just god awful.
Yeah. 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 Again,
and you want to say that Nia Jax is better than Awesome Kong?
Well. He said Nia was bigger than Awesome Kong. Again, this is him showing that he doesn't understand that it wasn't just about weight; it was about wrestling ability.
Is she?
Nia was bigger than but even if whether she was or wasn't, that's really irrelevant. It's about who was the better wrestler, and I'm sure you did not even consider Nia.
No, she was nowhere.
Yeah,
nowhere on there.
Right.
Actually, according to this, they're like in the 270 range. They're both about the same size.
Okay. Now, another guy that he mentioned in this comment was Abdullah the Butcher.
Abdullah the Butcher wrestled with freaking some sort of I can't remember what the name of it is, a bloodborne pathogen, and like infected another wrestler with it.
Okay. So he spread a disease. Okay.
He had gosh, what was it? What did Abdullah have? Hepatitis C. So
okay. Yeah, that's not good.
No.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Probably should. And he was notorious for color, right? That's why he had all those scars on his head.
Yeah. That was his thing, is that he bled,
right?
And he made you bleed.
You're right. It was like a bigger John Moxley.
He used the same blading instrument for his opponent. Now his opponent was also stupid. Okay. He, I guess, wanted Abdullah to blade him because he didn't know how to blade himself, or
really?
or something or another. I don't know.
So during the match, Abdullah bladed his opponent
with the same blade that he bladed himself.
Oh my God!
And that's
like sharing
allegedly
needles.
How the guy got hepatitis C.
Yeah.
Apparently, Abdullah the Butcher had like a rare strain of hepatitis C. So they were both stupid.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time. Allegedly, Abdullah the Butcher knew that he had hepatitis C and was still wrestling in all these blood death match wrestling bullshit matches that I don't like. And he didn't have skill.
Right.
His skill was bleeding. He's John Moxley, but
Right.
fat.
Right.
That doesn't get you on the top 10 list of fat wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess the guy brings up a good, but here's the other thing. If we did include any of those, he probably would have been complaining about who we did have on the list that we would have had to leave off to include some of these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably.
So, there was going to be complaints either way. That's top 10 list. I'm sure if you go and look up any top 10 list on YouTube, the comments are full of people that saying that, you left out this guy, you left out that guy.
And also, like, we probably should have said this, but if you haven't seen the top 10 list, you probably should see it by now, so you know what we're talking about. And just in case you haven't seen it, I'm going to explain who I put on the list. So number 10 was Samoa Joe. Number 9 was Awesome Kong. Number 8 was Bam Bam Bigelow. Number 7 was Rikishi. Number 6 was The Big Show. Number 5 was Andre the Giant. Number 4 was Yokozuna. Number 3 was Vader. Number 2 was Mick Foley. And number 1 was Dusty Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. Other comments, one guy just said Haystacks. So I guess he said he would like to see Haystacks. So he's another one that mentioned him.
Well, that's who he would have if he can go do his own 10 list.
Absolutely. Right.
Put Haystacks on there,
it's not incredibly difficult to do your own. Just just
maybe Lance, we could make it do it at home YouTube. Top 10 fat wrestlers.
A top 10 kit.
Yeah.
Top 10 fat wrestlers kit.
It can come with cards to give you ideas, like it has one will have Haystacks, another one have John Tenta, another one have Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
They have the weight on the card.
Yeah.
So you can decide how you want to mix and match.
Yep. All right, so moving on from that video, we had some complaints on. Okay, so I posted the clip where we were talking about the possibility of CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, which we know now that's in jeopardy.
Yeah,
with Seth Rollins' injury, but the video was likely being CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, and you expressed that you didn't want that. So we had a couple comments that basically said the same thing. One said, not really sure why you wouldn't want CM Punk to win, talking about the Royal Rumble, winning the Royal Rumble. And then, why wouldn't you want Punk to win? Just say you hate CM Punk. And, okay, look, just because we say we don't want him to win doesn't mean we hate anybody. What the fuck?
I mean, when
Christ,
CM Punk came back to the WWE, I marked out as hard as anybody.
Right.
Doesn't mean I want him to automatically just be given the gold belt.
Right.
Right. Welcome back. Here's the belt. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
We've got wrestlers who've been here loyally for 10 years, but here's your belt.
Right. Oh, my God.
So, no.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, see, that's the other thing. These guys have not listened to the podcast.
Right.
I took CM Punk's side.
Right.
In the whole AEW thing, especially when I found out. I mean, at first I was kind of against Punk a little bit.
Right.
But then I found out that Tony Khan was saying that he was afraid for his life. And I'm like, okay, this is some bull. This is some legal manipulation bull crap.
Yeah.
So, I'm not against CM Punk eventually winning the belt. But, I mean, they didn't give it to Cody as soon as he showed up.
Right. Damn sure didn't give it to Cody as soon as he showed up.
and honestly, I thought Cody, in my opinion, had more claim to that title than CM Punk does to have to any belt right now.
Right. Yeah. Yep, I agree. All right, so we got one more, and this was on TikTok. And I don't know if this guy's talking about me or you or both of us, but this was on the top 10 clip. I showed Samoa Joe being number 10. And this guy says, number 9, Ring Chronicles, because he's a basement dweller.
What? What?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, I guess they're calling one of us basement dweller.
Yeah. I guess.
Okay. All right. We can move on to the next one. I don't even know how to respond to that. You know what I mean?
I don't either.
I wish I could be a basement dweller, Lance.
Yeah.
Like not have to go to work and earn money and stuff and like, gosh, play video games all day. That'd be the life.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this was on the video of this was the clip of where it was basically me saying, Cody Rhodes needs to have it all at WrestleMania, needs to beat Roman at WrestleMania for the title. And somebody said, Cody is not winning the title. Sorry to break it to you. I don't know why he wants to hurt my feelings so bad.
Like, dude, don't depress us, man.
Oh, speaking of that, that's all for the Lariat of Hate. But speaking of that, I read something that pointed to Rock and Roman being even more likely. So this also kind of answered another question, because ever since WWE started doing the PLEs on Peacock, I always wondered, I mean, how do you get paid for it? Because it's not like a pay-per-view anymore where, you're going to get paid for each buy. One thing I forgot about was sponsors. The better the card, the more sponsors are going to pay you to sponsor the show.
Yeah.
So Roman and Rock would be huge for sponsorships.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately.
there's another reason to have Rock and Roman at WrestleMania for the title.
That's depressing.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. God damn it. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not expecting Cody and Roman to be there, but we'll see.
So when is Cody going to win the belt?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you saw the clip, but he did address the crowd in Atlanta. I think Friday night after SmackDown. I think SmackDown was in Atlanta Friday night. And he addressed the crowd after the show because he's from Atlanta, and he said he's real tired. Or okay, I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. Maybe I can just play the clip because we play clips.
Just play the clip. Play the clip.
Lesnar, I've done a few silly things, but all of them were in the efforts to give the city, the town, the community that raised me something to remember. And when you're home, you share things that only you would share at home. Here's one. There is only one thing that makes me tired of coming home. The only thing that makes me tired when coming home is coming home empty-handed. I think we need to change that. And I am not immune to all the news, everything that's happening, what will happen, what won't happen. All I can tell you is this. I'm the right man for the job. I'm the best man for the job. I'm heading to the Royal Rumble. I'm going to go back to back. And I'm going to bring a championship back home to Atlanta.
All right. See, now, who does a promo like that?
Right. Right.
I mean, didn't you hear Dusty?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
yes. That
the only thing he didn't do is like reach out through the television and touched you.
Yeah. That's something that Jim Cornette has acknowledged, is that he has that same cadence or whatever that his dad had.
Yeah.
In his promos, he delivers them like his dad did.
Yeah, it's nuts, and to not have this man be the champion in the face of your company makes no sense.
Right.
These people want Roman Reigns to hold the belt forever.
Yes.
And I just don't get it. It doesn't. It's great what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot. If you would have talked to me last year, I would have been like, "Hey, Roman Reigns, acknowledge your tribal chief and all that."
Yeah.
But the act is getting old. It's time to have a new face of the company. Yeah. Roman, take the bet off him for a while, and give him a nice home vacation. So I mean, he can handle whatever business he needs to handle. People keep on bringing up his health. I don't know if there's anything going on with his health or not.
Mm-hmm.
Let him heal up if he needs to heal up. You know. Have him come back. Mm-hmm. Have him fight Cody again.
Yeah.
I mean, do a special stipulation for the match.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that, but I want to see Cody with the belt. It's way past due, and I just don't understand. I understand The Rock, but I just don't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense to me that they would take that route.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still seeing people say that, basically implying that Roman still has things to prove. I saw one clip where this guy was saying, okay, at the match at the Royal Rumble, Roman needs to win clean because he needs to prove that he can do it by himself. And I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. After, 1,200 plus days of being champion, he still hasn't proved he's a champion?
He's a heel. He's not supposed to win the match fairly. That's a stupid comment. That's how heels win matches, is they cheat. Have you ever watched wrestling before? Whoever wrote that, or said that, they've never seen a wrestling match. Heels cheat in matches.
I wish I could remember who it is. It's another, talking head on the internet like us, but
Well, we make more sense than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's still only 4 matches
right
scheduled for this Saturday.
Yeah.
We got some new names for the Royal Rumble. Bobby Lashley was, I think I said him last week. I'll just go through all the names. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Chad Gable, Otis, and Akira Tozawa. So, women's side, Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Maxine Dupree. So, speaking of Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and in rumors, there's several rumors I like to address that I've heard recently.
Okay.
First of all, do not believe anything that you see or hear about Seth Rollins.
Okay.
I saw this stupid clickbait video that was saying that Seth Rollins was going to vacate the title this Monday and all this other crap about Seth Rollins taking off. I understand that his matches, obviously he's not going to be at Royal Rumble.
Right.
I have a feeling that he'll be held up by WrestleMania time and be able to have a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This guy is known for wrestling in not 100% tip-top shape as it is.
Yeah.
He apparently has some back injury he hasn't got repaired.
Yeah.
Although I heard that the back injury has been, for obvious reasons, been exaggerated by the WWE.
Of course, yeah.
Sold.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not as bad as they make it out to be.
Yeah.
But it is a real back injury.
Yeah.
So I do think we're going to see. I predict we'll see Seth Rollins, but of course that's up to Seth Rollins' body and what he's going to be able to do between now and then. And that's something that, it's my prediction. But obviously there's some unknown variables with that. But we'll have to see what happens if he can't come back in time for WrestleMania. And then the other rumors involve the WWE 2K24 video game.
Okay, what's that?
The rumor is that there's going to be a 40 years of WrestleMania mode, showcase mode.
Okay, what's that supposed to include?
Well, the showcase mode basically has historical matches that you replay.
Okay.
And the past couple of years, they have blended the game with actual footage of the match. So, for example, in 2K22, you had Rey Mysterio's Halloween Havoc match against Eddie Guerrero. The game would have you hit a certain sequence of moves or something, and then it would cut to a cut scene, and then the cut scene would seamlessly transition to the actual match. So it's pretty interesting stuff if you haven't seen it. So, in the game, you'll see, Eddie Guerrero whipping Rey Mysterio to the ropes.
Yeah.
And then, Rey Mysterio's running towards the ropes, and then it's boom, the actual match is playing.
Right.
And he's running towards the ropes, and there's battle and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it makes you feel like you're actually in the match.
Okay.
So if they do a showcase mode with 40 years of WrestleMania, that's going to be pretty cool.
Right.
A lot of hints have been dropped on various sources that's what they're going to end up doing.
Okay.
A lot of hints. So we're going to see hopefully that in 2K24.
Okay.
Which is a far better game, by the way, Lance, than AEW Fight Forever.
Fight Forever.
That game flopped.
The season 2 pass is out now, by the way.
What does it include?
I have no idea.
You didn't rush to buy it, Lance?
I did not. I did not.
Did you buy the original game?
Nope.
You knew better.
It was one of those where I was going to let other people play it and see what happened.
Well,
and we happened to know a couple people that bought it.
Yeah, we know a guy that's a big AEW mark. That even after the hype died down, he even admitted it wasn't a good game.
Right, yeah.
So I was like,
yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah. So, yeah, I passed on that. Maybe next time. So anyway, Royal Rumble. We said before we did our Survivor Series episode that we're going to do a special episode for each of the big four pay-per-views of the year. So we got Royal Rumble coming up this Saturday. How are we going to hit this? We're going to talk about historic Royal Rumbles? Are we going to talk about this Royal Rumble? What are we going to talk about?
Well, I think we've already talked about this Royal Rumble
right
enough.
Yeah.
So let's talk about past Royal Rumbles.
Okay. All right.
All right. In fact, let's just go through all the winners.
Okay.
Of the Royal Rumble, and I'll just share my thoughts.
Sure.
On this.
Okay.
So the first, technically there was a Royal Rumble before the first Royal Rumble.
Okay.
That the one-man gang won and was a disaster because it was supposed to be like the winner gets like some sort of like title shot or something or another. Mm-hmm. And the announcer accidentally announced that one-man gang was getting the title shot before the Royal Rumble match was had.
I think you mentioned that on the last episode or the one before that.
So Pat Patterson, this was his idea, and thank God they allowed Pat Patterson wasn't on site for that WrestleMania or that Royal Rumble, by the way. So thankfully they allowed another Royal Rumble to take place.
Okay.
All right. So the first Royal Rumble was won by Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
And back then, the person who won didn't go on to WrestleMania to fight for the title. Otherwise, Jim Duggan probably would not have won that Royal Rumble.
Oh, man.
But
yeah,
I'm glad that he did, because as far as championships, Jim Duggan actually won more championships in WCW than he did the WWE. Even that's what he's known for. 1989 Royal Rumble, Big John Studd was the winner. All right. Mm-hmm. And so 1990 and 1991, we have our first ever double champion in the Royal Rumble, which was Hulk Hogan.
The first double champion.
Yeah, our first double winner.
Oh, okay. He
won it in 1990, and then he won it in 1991.
Okay, I see. Yep.
Okay. Now, this is when he actually went to WrestleMania for each of those years. In 1990, Hulk Hogan was the WWF World Heavyweight Champion. In 1991, I think that's when he went on to fight Sergeant Slaughter at the following WrestleMania. 1992, Ric Flair.
Yep.
Ric Flair actually won the championship at that Royal Rumble.
So that Royal Rumble was for the title?
Yes, for the vacant.
Oh, it was vacant.
WWF World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
And that was a great one. Yokozuna won the 1993 Royal Rumble, and we all know what happened then. He went on to fight Bret Hart, won the title, and lost it to Hogan the same day, which was terrible. 1994, we have two winners of the Royal Rumble.
Okay, how'd this happen?
Lex Luger and Bret Hart.
Okay.
They were the last ones in the match, and they both eliminated each other at the same time. There was some controversy about who actually hit the floor first.
Right.
But they both hit the floor at the same time.
Okay.
So
they just simply declared them both the winner.
Yes. And so what happened at that that WrestleMania that year? Lex Luger fought against Yokozuna first.
Okay.
And did not win the title. I forgot how the match was. It might have been disqualification or something. I don't know. Then Bret Hart lost against his brother Owen, and then Bret Hart won the match against Yokozuna. So Bret Hart lost his match against Owen Hart, and then won the match against Yokozuna to win the WWF Championship.
Okay.
1995 and 1996 Royal Rumbles won by Shawn Michaels. Okay, 1997 and 1998 Royal Rumbles won by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep.
And the 98 was significant in the fact that Steve Austin would win the title at the WrestleMania that year. Okay. 1999 Royal Rumble, No Chance in Hell. Mr. McMahon is the Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble 2000 was won by The Rock. Steve Austin won it yet again in 2001.
Yep.
2002 Triple H. 2003 Brock Lesnar. 2004 the guy we don't speak of, Chris Benoit.
Yep.
2005, Batista. 2006, Rey Mysterio. The Undertaker at 2007. John Cena, 2008.
I remember that one.
Randy Orton, 2009. What do you remember about the John Cena one?
Okay, so you should remember this too. We were watching this over at the old apartment. Me and the fan of AEW were roommates.
Yeah.
But I remember John Cena was hurt. He had a shoulder injury. He had a torn shoulder. He had been out for a few months, and nobody had heard anything from him. And he came in at number 30 and just ruined my night.
Yeah.
Because you know in his music he was going to win. He wasn't going to debut at number 30 and not win. So
right.
it was just I wanted my money back.
2010 we had Edge, Alberto Del Rio at 2011. That's terrible. Sheamus 2012, 2013 John Cena, 14 Batista, 15 Roman Reigns. I want to say that was the one that fans were like super pissed because they wanted Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Or what was John Moxley's name back then?
Shit.
You know his name. Yeah. Triple H won 2016.
Yeah.
2017, Randy Orton. 2018, Shinsuke Nakamura and Asuka, because that was the first women's one.
Mm-hmm.
And 2019, Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Charlotte Flair and Drew McIntyre for 2020. That was one of the last matches with fans before COVID struck.
Yeah.
So I remember that very well. Bianca Belair and Edge won in 2021. Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar. Oh, yeah, I hated that. I was like, oh, my God. 2022. 2023, Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley. That was satisfying.
Yeah.
And 2024 was waiting to be seen.
Yeah.
So you noticed that there was a lot of repeat people.
Yeah.
And
Steve Austin with 3. I think does he have the most?
I think so.
Okay.
And there's all these different Royal Rumble statistics too that are interesting. So there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that have won at coming in at number 30.
Mm-hmm.
There have been 4 that have come in at number 27, and there have been 3 that have come in at 1.
Was Steve Austin one of those?
I want to say he was. No. I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless he won 2021. Yeah, 2001. I mean, that he came in at 27th. So no, Steve Austin wasn't.
He did come in at number 5 in 97.
Yeah, that's the one where he was like checking his watch.
Yeah, he was sitting up on the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Now Shawn Michaels came in at number 1 in 95.
So it's better to come in at 1 than it is at 29. And you have just as much chance to win at 2 that you do at 29. And this is because wrestling is not real. That's why you have these kind of statistics.
Yep.
So
here's an interesting one. In 99, when Mr. McMahon won, he came in at number 2.
There was also the greatest Royal Rumble, by the way.
Okay.
That had 50 people that was held in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know about this one.
Because, see, technically Daniel Bryan has the longest amount of time in a Royal Rumble at the greatest Royal Rumble at 1 hour and 16 minutes. But Gunther has the highest amount of time in a Royal Rumble that's a regular Royal Rumble at 1 hour and 11 minutes. Followed by Rey Mysterio at 1 hour and 2 minutes, and Chris Benoit, 1 hour and 1 minute, and Bob Backlund at 1 hour and 1 minute. Triple H, Chris Jericho, and Ric Flair have all spent 1 hour in the match as well. Roman Reigns, 59 minutes. Edge, 58 minutes. So we got some folks that spend a lot of time. Longest cumulative time is Chris Jericho at 4 hours and 59 minutes.
What?
Adding all his times together.
Oh, like all the Royal Rumbles he's been in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Really? Now, I would have guessed that would have been Kane.
Yeah, I would have thought that too.
Because you remember there were a few years there where he made it to the very end and lost to the winner.
Kane has 3 hours and 19 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it says Kane, Diesel, Isaac Yankum, DDS. Because he came as all those guys.
Yeah.
Shortest time spent in a Royal Rumble match, Santino Marella.
Okay.
Which is not even a second. or maybe it's 1.9 seconds or something. I don't know. Yeah, 1.9 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has the shortest time per year. Most eliminations in a single Royal Rumble belongs to Braun Strowman at 13 at the Greatest Royal Rumble and Brock Lesnar at the 2020 Royal Rumble. Most consecutive eliminations, 46, Kane. Number of eliminations in a row belongs to Brock Lesnar at 13. The Undertaker is second as far as total consecutive numbers of all.
Wait, now
Rumbles.
consecutive. No, what?
Or not consecutive. Record for most Royal Rumble match eliminations. In general.
Okay, so
Undertaker's number.
Adding up all
40.
their eliminations and all the Royal Rumbles they've been in.
Yeah.
Okay.
39, Shawn Michaels. The Ringmaster, Stone Cold Steve Austin, 36. Highest number of wrestlers in a single elimination. Mabel Viscera has 2 records. One at 9 and another one at 7. Wrestlers who eliminated themselves. Andre the Giant, Ahmed Johnson, Mil Mascaras, Kane, Drew Carey, Mick Foley, MVP, Matt Hardy. Most Rumble appearances, Kane at 20. Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston at 15. Most times in the final 6, Randy Orton. 12 times in the final 6. Most times in the final 4, Randy Orton at 8, followed by Kane at 6. Also Roman Reigns at 6. Final 2, Roman Reigns at 5. Wrestlers who have competed multiple times in the same night. There are 2 records here. Mick Foley at 3 and Nia Jax at 2. Female entrants in the male Royal Rumble matches. Chyna, Beth Phoenix, Karma, which is Awesome Kong, and Nia Jax. Women's Royal Rumble. There's just endless statistics upon statistics that I could just keep going through right here.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple that stand out for me. One being the one where John Cena ruined my night. And the other one, and to this day it still bothers me. In 2002, when Triple H came back from his injury, and he just made a beeline for the title.
Yeah,
and you knew it was coming. So he comes back in early January, wins the Royal Rumble, goes to WrestleMania, wins the title. It was like, so after he came back, within like 2.5 months, he had the title.
Roman Reigns winning the belt or the Royal Rumble at whatever it was.
Yeah,
that was disappointing. 2015.
I'm assuming that was before the whole bloodline tribal chief thing. Yeah, so I imagine he was still being hated, still trying to be a face at that time, and they gave him the Royal Rumble win.
I just hope this year we don't get disappointed again with The Rock. This is my favorite pay-per-view, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Please don't ruin it.
Yeah.
Well, Lance, do you have anything else to say?
Just that I hope it's not that I hope Rock isn't going to win the Royal Rumble. It's that I hope he's not in it at all.
Stay away, Rock. Go back to movies or just have a regular match.
Because if he shows up, and I also hope we don't see MJF.
I'd be okay with that.
It would break my heart. It would break my heart.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I don't think it will either. But I keep seeing these fan-made videos of like the Royal Rumble clock ticking down, and then MJF's music hits. And I'm like, no, don't fucking do that. Stop making that shit. Yeah. You got anything else before we?
I'm good.
Before
we can close out. We close out early this week.
Okay, we're gonna close it out early. And we'll come back to you next week with results from the Royal Rumble.
I might be crying.
Yeah. All right. So until then, we'll see y'all later.
This is.
Oops, sorry. Wrong one.